This is going to be fun.
What?
This is going to be fun when Jessica gets on here and we explain the story. So I'll give a few minutes for some of the people that were on to join back in, but we're going to talk about my hearing loss and how that affects things, because there was no breakfast. So I see North Star Great Danes, Endless RVing. Hi, you missed earlier. We were live earlier. I was live for about a half an hour, and I got off because Chris popped out the door of the RV. I was sitting outside at that time, and said, "We're gonna have." I thought she said that, just so you know, breakfast is going to be ready in about 10 minutes. And I said, yes. What she actually said was, Jessica, our daughter, who was in the chat, Jessica wants to know if you're still going to be doing this in 10 minutes. So Jessica went and got ready, because Chris told her I said yes to join the live chat. And so then when I canceled the live chat at 30 minutes because I was hungry and I wanted to eat, Jessica had gotten ready and she wasn't able to join the live chat. So I thought it would be a funny story to come back on and tell that, and then also have Jessica join the chat, and maybe some others might want to join as well. So we'll do another half an hour or so here, like we did earlier this morning. So then the other thing that I thought was funny that I shared on my Facebook page was Jessica and I texted back and forth, and there was a great autocorrect moment. And I think I said, let's see here. I said, we need to go back live because it'll be a funny story. And so I said, it'll be a funny story, and I could talk about and I said hearing loss, but I actually typed hearing loss. I spelled loss wrong, LOSSS. I spelled hearing right. It corrected hearing to earring, and it left loss like it was. So I said autocorrect, hearing loss. She laughed. I said, it corrected earring and it left loss spelled wrong. Go home, Siri, you're drunk. So we thought that would be a funny story. I'm still waiting for Jessica to join so we can add her on. As I mentioned, she's also a YouTube creator in a different line, kind of a different topic or focus. She does meal prep and beauty stuff. I think it's more on the beauty side than the meal stuff. And she does it a lot of times with her almost 1-year-old infant in her arms. And in some cases, she lets her, how old is Jack? Is he 7 now or 6? Chris, is Jack 7? Jack's 7. I've got 7 grandkids. I forget how old they are. And so she's got her oldest son is 7, and sometimes he helps her do her makeup. So it's quite funny. So we'll see if we can get her on here shortly. In this RVing, I guess you guys are back home now. It was really cool bumping into you guys at the RV show. Hi, New Horizons. Thanks for coming in. As you see on the screen there, we were live earlier. I got off because I thought that was breakfast, but because of my hearing loss and my hearing aids, and I had my headset on, I didn't hear my wife right. So it was something totally unrelated to breakfast. Let me see where Jessica's at. Hey, RV Underway. I enjoyed the live you guys had last night. Thanks for coming in. While we're waiting on Jessica, I'm going to put a link in there. And if anybody wants to join in and have a chat about a topic, since I'm not sure if she's having technical difficulties or not, if anybody else would like to join in and talk about their channel, or we can talk about a topic, happy to do so. Yeah, no breakfast suburban Florida. It was my ears. Quite funny. So we are sitting at Bushnell, Florida, Blueberry Hill RV Resort. It's pretty nice resort. It's kind of remotely located. It's not real close to the beach, but we're about an hour from the beach. But the nice thing is there's very little traffic here, so the motorcycle riding is really nice here in this area, and that's one of the primary reasons we came, as well as getting away from the cold weather. But if anybody's down in West Central Florida, we're going to be doing a lot of things in this area, probably between Tampa, Orlando, a little bit north of here to Leesburg. Some of those areas, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in that area through the end of March. We would like to do some joint activities with any of the other channels that might be in this area as well. Hold on just a second. I was asking Chris to see if she can find out what happened to Jessica, our daughter. She was supposed to be on here to come back in. So can't see my earrings. Well, my earrings are inner ear hearing aids. No earrings for me, but that's what Siri thought I said, I guess. But heck, I can't judge her because I can't hear half the time anyway. Ocala, yeah, we actually rode up to Ocala a few times. I'm not sure if Silver Springs Park is one that we went to. Our friends, Don and Nelia, who we met last year in Port Aransas, Texas, at Port A RV Resort. If anybody's down in Texas for the winter, Port A RV Resort, it's cool people there. It's right across the road from the beach. Pretty cool place. And we met Don and Nelia there last year, and they were motorcycle riders, and that's really what inspired Chris to want to get a motorcycle, and I kind of followed along. So we came back and hooked up with them this year in Florida, and they've been basically riding us around to different places, but I can't remember if Silver Springs Park was one of those. Catfish Charlie's, I heard about that, and they might have mentioned it, but we have not been there yet. We'll definitely have to give Catfish Charlie's a try. And North Star Great Danes, you have show Danes, right? You do shows and actually show your Danes. How many do you actually have? We met a couple up at the RV park, dog park, that has a couple of Great Danes as well. When we got ours from a rescue, she's actually disabled. She's deaf, and actually the pattern that she has is not it's considered a defect when you breed two merles together, from what I understand. And so she's got a lot of white on her and a little bit of the merle pattern, but she's definitely just a fun pet dog. Four Great Danes. That's a lot of dog. We've got two, one Great Dane and one Husky, and we travel in a small travel trailer. So we've got some funny videos of them doing their zoomies and playing in the different RVs that we've had. That's quite crazy. So fortunately, most of the pretty much all of the furniture we've had pretty much holding up to their craziness, thankfully. Yes, that's right. So a lot of dogs, not just Great Danes, if they have a lot of white on them and they're not a dog that's naturally white, they'll have defects. They'll be deaf or blind. Our Priscilla is fully deaf. She may or may not hear big crashes, but we think it might just be the vibrations. Like if you clap your hands or you sneeze real loud, every once in a while it'll look like she hears it, but sometimes she doesn't hear it at all. So she's in all principles completely deaf. Her eyesight seems to be okay in the daytime. In the nighttime, she is somewhat night blind, or it may be a combination of just being deaf and seeing shadows scares her quite a bit. So again, if anybody wants to come on a panel, come on and do a one-to-one interview, talk about a topic, share what your channel's about, you have a headset, just click that link and you'll come in the StreamYard and I'll pull you into the chat. New Horizons always adopted or rescued their dogs, and that's great. So we support a lot of organizations that do. Both of our dogs are rescues now. We have bought dogs from breeders in the past. We don't turn our nose up to people that do that, as long as they're committed to being a great dog owner. That's not the problem, really. The problem, in our opinion, is the people that aren't committed and they surrender their dog after a year so they can get a puppy again. And then also, the other thing is just immoral or poor breeders that are breeding for money rather than the love of the breed. New Horizons, I actually ran your most of your playlist, the play all yesterday on your videos. Good stuff. I guess my daughter has gotten lost. Let me check if Chris has heard anything from that front. She hasn't responded to her later. I was kind of surprised she wanted to be on because believe it or not, she's really shy, which is kind of strange that she would have a YouTube channel. She kind of doesn't like being on video. It seems most of the time when we FaceTime with her, she'll show us the grandkids, but doesn't show her face very much. But she swears that she wanted to be on. And we said 10. I told her 10:30. Maybe she was thinking 10:30 her time. Unless RVing, I have rescues, and you do need good breeders out there. So if you have good genetics and good breeders, and you have good pet owners that take them, that will solve a lot of our problem that we have today with pets being surrendered. Suburban Florida outdoors. I think you can just click that link and you can come in. It might download a small app, but you should just be able to click the link when I post it in there. If you got it, I'll post it again in comments. You should be able to click that link and it will download whatever you need to from there and bring you into the live chat, and then I'll see you pop up and I can add you to the live chat. Anybody do anything fun this weekend? We are going to a chili cook-off and barbecue competition at the Leesburg Harley dealership. It's actually going on today and tomorrow. We're going to go tomorrow. They have live music and a bunch of events going on there with the chili cook-off. I think it's $10. You get to taste all the chili and the barbecue. All the live music and other stuff is free. The $10 goes towards the firefighter fund, so it goes to a good cause. So here's some good information as well from North Star Danes on what it takes to be a good breeder, why it's important to have a good breeder. We our first two huskies we got from breeders. The first one we got was a wonderful husky. She was gray and white, and unfortunately, it was our first husky, and they are escape artists, and she would get out and run, and she was maybe 9 months old, and she got out in Colorado to run at nighttime, like around 10:30. And we tried not to chase her. I tried to catch her, almost had her a couple times, and then I just stopped because I'm chasing them is bad. And she actually took off. Chris drove around looking for her, and we had a train that came through about every hour. We heard the train whistle and stuff like that, and Chris was convinced she ran towards the train, and I figured she'd come back. And Chris found her, I think, the next morning on the train tracks. She'd gotten hit by a train, so it was a horrible experience. It was our Sheba. We loved her. Just really sad. So from there, we ended up getting another one, but this one was all white, and it was a male. It was the only male husky we had, and he would start peeing, and he would pee all across the ground, and then he also nipped at some of the kids. We also got our first husky rescue around the same time. We got Sage, which was our first husky rescue. So we actually rehomed the white one, which we don't think was even a full-bred husky. We think it maybe had some Akita. So we found a single guy that could spend a lot of time with this dog and give it Hayward was his name. Give him a better home. So we had to rehome him because we had little kids, and he was nipping and just was a handful, and so we found a good home for him. And we had Sage for close to 10 years, and then she passed away, and I didn't want another dog. It was the first time in my life I had a dog all the way through to when you have to make the decision to put them down. All the dogs that I had as a kid, we lived on a busy road, so they never made it. They always would get hit by a car. And we lived in rural country, and so 45 years ago, people treated dogs differently than they do today. So I was crushed, and I didn't want another dog. And then Chris asked if we could have a dog, and I said no. She got upset, and so we got a dog. It was kind of for emotional purpose. It was after her mom had passed, so it was kind of her therapy and her grieving process to get another husky. So we rescued Presley, and that was 7 years ago. And so she's been a fantastic dog. And then we wanted to help more with organizations. So we fostered a Great Dane, and she fell in love with, well, she knew she wanted a Great Dane, but we fell in love with him when we fostered her, and we had to place him in a home. And we're still in contact with the forever home parents. But then after that, she decided she couldn't continue to foster because she just got real attached to this dog. So we found one that we wanted to look into adopting, and that was Priscilla. So we ended up getting her, and it's been an adventure ever since. Endless RV, and going to Broadway tomorrow to see Beetlejuice. We love Beetlejuice. It's such a funny movie. Our kids love that movie as well. Yeah, sorry, One Strange Adventure. Sorry for joining in with the sad story, but we'll have a lot of happy stories to go along with that. But thanks a lot for joining in. Just catching up on the comments here. Yep, I think a lot of people feel this way. We treat them somewhat like kids. I can't say that losing or putting down our husky would be the same as losing a child. I've never lost a child, and I hope I never do. But it is very emotional. I don't know what else you could compare it to, but it is the loss of a life in your house. And sometimes the dogs are there, as long or longer, sometimes than raising kids. So, you'll have the dogs get the dogs when the kids are teenagers, and they'll be there long after the kids move out, so that they do have a big impact on the family. RV underway, great idea, fencing them in. So fences keep a lot of dogs in, but our huskies, especially, we are very pleased that Presley is not the escape artist that our other huskies have been. So like I said, the first one got out, and we just couldn't catch her. The second one, Sage, we kept on a leash as much as possible because she was absolutely an escape artist. She would wait at the door, and if you opened it and you weren't paying attention, she would take off. But she was really smart. She would cross the road and watch cars to cross the road, but we didn't ever let her out on her own. It was always an escape. Oh, and then sometimes she would even like chew through a fence, dig under a fence. She was an absolute escape art. We never found anything that would keep her in that we could keep her in a backyard. So she would always get out. One strange adventure. They have two pups. Actually, three pups. That's right. Two golden doodles and Chihuahua. I remember watching some of your channel a couple weeks ago after we first met. StreamYard, I'm on the free version. I think there is a limitation to how many hours that you can do per month, and then you have to upgrade. I think it's somewhere like 20. I could be wrong. You have to check it out. But then you can upgrade there. Yep, we'll see a lot of this as well. People leaving their dogs in hot vehicles or taking the dogs on walks when it's 100 degrees outside, not thinking about how their paws feel. And then you are right. This is the best way to describe it. They're near and dear, and when we lose them, it's like a part of the family has been lost. You shouldn't need StreamYard or Streamlabs to join Suburban Florida. If you click that link, you should be able to come in, I believe. If the link's not working, let me know. Horizons has a Basset Hound. When I was growing up, friends of mine had two Basset Hounds, and I just used to love those dogs. They were awesome. A little bit of a sad story, but it has a happy ending. I'll tell about a Basset Hound. We used to play baseball out in this field, and we were playing baseball, and the one of the Basset Hounds was hanging out around second base, just laying there in the sun and sleeping. And there was just three of us playing, so we were just one outfielder, a pitcher, and then a batter. And I was batting, and somebody threw a pitch to me, and I hit a line drive, and it hit that poor dog right in the head and woke him up, and he went yiping and running towards the house. Fortunately, he was happy and fine, and no damage was done. But it was just really kind of a freak accident. We didn't think there was any chance that for a dog getting hurt being out there. I mean, we were like 12 years old, so it was kind of crazy. So I think RV Underway said that there is a free version, but it's also possibly an upgrade that's $20. They give you some additional features and no, maybe a higher limitation or no limitation on StreamYard. We're probably going to upgrade at some point. So if I get some more information, I'll share that as well. Hello, RV Daydream. Thanks for coming in. Or Barbara Carter, she was in earlier as well. But we got to be quiet because she's at work. All right, so I either miscommunicated with my daughter or she has chickened out. But I thought it would be fun to come back on and tell about the miscommunication we had. That was quite a funny story on thinking I had breakfast ready and I was hungry and I got off and I still haven't had breakfast because my ears heard that story wrong. So let's take the last few minutes here. If anybody is in here and they have lives, I know Endless RVing does. I think they do Thursdays regularly. They also do other times throughout the week. They're quite a bit. RV Underway is live quite a bit, kind of impromptu. I'm not sure if you have a regular scheduled live. New Horizons is getting ready to have a scheduled live. You can go ahead and post the chat what time and what day you're going to be live, so people will know and they can join your live as well. Go to your page and set a reminder. Make sure that they're getting your notifications. Yeah, and we lived in the country on New Horizons. You say that one of your dogs was dumped. We had quite a few pets that lasted a while when I was a youngster. That were just strays that would come over. My mom would feed them, and they would stick around. We actually had one that was an Irish setter that my brother fell in love with, kind of claimed it his dog that he came to the house, and he was there for like 2 years, and I'm not sure how the owner found out that the dog was missing or where it was at, because if I remember, it was like 15 miles away where the dog was lost from. But one day we're out there playing. It was like a sunny day, and this guy pulls up in a truck and he gets out and he calls this dog. We named it Red, but it had another name. I can't remember what the name was. He gets out of his car and calls the dog, and the dog goes running to him and jumps in the bed of the truck. And he just came over and said that I can't remember the story, but somehow he found that the dog was lost and was hanging out at our house, and came over and got his dog. It was like 2 years later, and that dog just hung around, never went home, but he sure recognized his owner when he came back up. Endless RVing, MJ and Izzy, they go live. They have lots of informational things. They really have a professional channel, and they focus on some really good topics to people that are just starting out. Ours is a little bit more hobby pet focused. Izzy is had a career or may still be in law enforcement. I'm not sure if he's working or retired. I think he is still working, but basically does a lot of tips on security and things like that. So they're one of our favorite channels to watch. And we were happy that we got to meet them at the Tampa show. We were just walking along and saw them and stopped and said hi to them. So it was pretty neat. They took time out to chat with us. Here's some more information on the StreamYard. It's a free version, or you can purchase full version at $25 monthly or yearly at $250. And I know there's a couple of features like branding. If you don't get you see this logo up here at the top, powered by StreamYard. That's with the free version. If you don't have the free version and you've upgraded, you can actually put your logo. Next Friday, New Horizons is going to do our first live stream. Right before the Roads We Roam. Russ and Terry have a huge following. They're a good one to attend as well. Don't be nervous. Just go on StreamYard and set up a couple of live tests and go live. And if you've got a second device, pull it up on your second device. You can keep it private so nobody can see it. You can test it out, make sure everything works. That's a good thing to do. I still try to do that. Or I did that on my first couple. I haven't done it on the last ones because I think I've got it down now. But it's pretty easy, or at least it was for us. And I think Bob at Blue Wave is going to give you a hand. He's really good at helping out other channels get started on live sessions or all things YouTube. Thanks, guys. I have to get to work here shortly as well. Everybody else have a good day. And MJ answered the question here that Izzy is still working. He's got about 5 years left before they get to enjoy the full-time travel. And some encouragement there. That's what we're about, is positivity, sharing positivity with each other, paying your blessings forward, helping others out that are in need, and keeping it positive. There's enough negative in the world. We got to keep it positive and counteract, overcome all of those positive things to offset the negative in the world, and the social media especially. Nomadic Hippie, hey, thanks for joining. You're another one that does a lot of lives on here. Thanks for popping in. This was just kind of an impromptu pop in. I've only got a few minutes left, but I'm going to try to do these maybe once a week or so when I have time before I go to work in the morning. There's not that many lives that you compete with in the morning. And basically just going to keep them as open. Anybody that wants to join, I'll post a link. I know you do the same thing, so maybe we'll get you on next time and talk about our channels, talk about a topic. Oh, well, look at that. Let's stay on here just for a little bit longer, because we do have Suburban Florida that has joined the chat. I've just added you to the chat. Let's see if we can hear you. I'm not sure if we've got audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, but you're pretty quiet.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I don't think we haven't connected before today. I appreciate you coming on the live chat. And so why don't you?
Yeah, I've seen you in others, but I haven't really,
Nice. So tell us about your channel and yourself.
Well, on standby, John has MS, so he's neurologist and doctors and infusions and the whole works, and it's kind of hard. He just had a serious round of Lemtrada, so he can't be around anybody that's had a cold. He can't go out in the public. Doctor's office, he has to, mask and sanitizer, and I mean, it's crazy. So we're kind of taking a pause. I'm doing a little as I can, but mostly it's to showcase the Florida that you're not going to see on the tourist map, because there's more to Florida than beaches and Disney, and we want to show that. And once he gets, feeling better, we're going to go back to the hunting and the fishing and the, outdoor trails and all the good fun stuff that we can do here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's a great point, because for many years I've traveled to Florida, and most of the time it was either, Daytona Beach or Orlando Disney.
Yep.
We did take a work trip down to Miami, and we got to see that. I just saw my daughter's post come in there. She was thinking 10:30 her time, so that's what she. So maybe I don't know if I'll be available at 10:30 her time. That would be 12:30 here, but we'll get it together and get her on as well. But I'm glad you were able to join. But and actually, we're looking for some things to do down here. So if you can email us any of the stuff like that's in our area, like Orlando, Tampa, Leesburg, Ocala, those areas, there's any events, things like that are happening in late February or March, would be great. Right. We're heading back for 2 weeks. We've got a bunch of birthdays, and between January 15th, which we miss our daughter's birthday, and February 28th, we have 7 birthdays in our family. We've got 2 children and 5 grandchildren who have birthdays. So we're going to go back for a couple of weeks and try to do a mass celebration of those birthdays.
Oh, that would be fun.
But from the middle of February to the end of March, we're going to be looking for some things to do. We're riding motorcycles, going to different events, especially if there's some pet events or charitable events that we can go to. We like to pay it forward, support other good causes and positive causes, beach cleanups, those types of things, and help out with our time and our resources and bring awareness to those organizations. Did you freeze up? I think you froze up a little bit. Hopefully we didn't lose you. I'm not sure if it's me. Can everybody still hear me? Is my screen frozen, or are we good? Yeah, it looks like we lost her. So Jessica, did you get to hook up with the beauty channel that I introduced you to, or are you planning to hook up with them, or did I miscommunicate that as well? So Jessica, can you want to join now? Are you set up to do so now, or are you still on schedule for your Colorado time? I'll share the link. If you're ready to jump in, we'll keep going for a little while longer, since I told you that I would bring you on and I miscommunicated the time. When I say 10:30, it's always my time. It's not your time. It's always about me. There is the link. Jessica, if you can try that, we'll stick on here a little bit longer, see if we can get you in. Actually, that didn't. Let's see. This is the one I wanted to say. We're talking. I think New Horizons talking about a guide for live, so that people can try not to step on each other's toes. it's getting quite busy. And what we did was we reached out to Camper Life because we're going to be overlapping them just a little bit next Wednesday. Just made sure he was okay. He encouraged me to go ahead and go forward because it's getting so crowded that we've got to do what we've got to do. So we're going to try not to step on each other's toes and maybe make the best of it by talking about each other's lives and bouncing people back and forth. That would be nice as well. So I agree, Nomadic Hippie, the live thing is kind of new, and you know, I'm kind of toying around with it. That's what I decided to do this morning. Good morning, Papa Drew. All right, Jessica, are you getting the link? Are you able to join in? And so we've been failing at getting my mystery guest Jessica on, my daughter, this time. We're running out of time this morning, but we're going to try to do these once a week or so, just kind of an impromptu morning whenever I don't have a busy morning at work. Jessica can't do it now, so we'll reschedule. So we're going to wrap up here in just a moment. But support everyone on these channels. They are very invested in whether they're making it a hobby or whether they're trying to make it something professional. They have a lot of fun, and meeting new people is the fun, is a huge part of it to us, especially. And you see my wife jumped on there and is from the other room in our RV here. And so keep communicating with people. Be careful when you do a meetup, and just be very careful, because I have heard some stories of people getting stalked on some of these channels. Some of the popular channels will get stalkers. So just be careful who you interact with. Vet it out a little bit before you do meetups. But that's part of the joy, or probably most of the joy, is being able to connect with people that are like-minded, have some similar interests or new interests that might catch your mind that you never were open to before. I've seen, especially on some of the larger channels that are larger lives, like Blue Wave Odyssey, he has people from all different types of genres or venues or topics that come in. And so it's not just the RV community, it's not just the pet community. There's silver coin collectors. Actually, Silver Turtle I just saw joined as well. He was one of the early lives I got on, because he goes through silver coins looking for, or he goes through coins, $50 usually, looking for some of the partially silver $50. And I actually used to do that with nickels, for the wartime nickels. I did it with the $50 years ago. I've got a coin collection, not as active in it as I used to be, but it's pretty cool interacting with people that have some of those similar likes. And on his channel, there's people that are like beachcombers that go out and try to find coins on the beach, and other types of things like that. So you will meet new people, and in many cases they have a cause, or a charity, or a mission that they're on to try to support and bring awareness to. And those are the ones we specifically like to connect with, or especially like to connect with, and bring them on, share their story on our podcast, or maybe do a video if we happen to meet up with them. And one of them I met the other day was on a live, was Johnny's Journeys. He's not in here today, but actually turned out he's from St. Louis. He actually lives just a mile or two from where we had a home in Imperial. And he has a mission and a foundation, because he's fighting cancer. And so we're going to try to get him on as well to a podcast, because he's got a very rare form of cancer, and he chose to fight it by bringing awareness to it, starting a foundation and things like that. So just meeting new people is really enjoyable for us. We've met a few new rescue organizations that we've connected with, and we're going to continue that. And as I said before, we'll have a podcast coming up that honors our service members, called Honor Network. We're actually recording the podcast next week. It will probably be posted the week after next. So we will do this again. Thanks for everybody for joining. I got to wrap and get to work for my real job. And thank you for popping back on, for the people that were on earlier and heard the funny story of our my ears not hearing the message that my wife gave me correctly. I did see Suburban Florida come back in, but I do have to run. we'll get you next time, Suburban Florida. Thanks for joining today. And until next week, have a great weekend.